Hey friends, it is my YouTube anniversary this month, and having been in this K-pop thing for over 12 years, I thought it'd be interesting to go over annoying K-pop aspects that have not changed in that time. Gen 2 K-pop fans like to think that K-pop was so great back then. I mean, it was, but it still had its flaws. You would think things would have gotten better over time, but for this video, I wanted to give my perspective on these old complaints. And so, without further ado, let's get started with this list. My first point that I wanted to talk about was putting out the ABCs and it'll be a hit in K-pop. One thing that has always irritated me in K-pop all these years was that the recording labels of major artists could basically put out the ABCs and it'd still be a hit. They assumed, and still do, that fans would rally behind their group no matter what, because no one would risk not being a true fan. Quality be damned. The labels aren't wrong though. Fans today will show their loyalty in streaming, buying their album, and so much more, even if they don't care for the comeback, because pre-orders are more of a thing than ever before. Sometimes even great acts will have a dud, but instead of ignoring it, fans will latch onto it harder than their good work and talk about how this bad song shows that their band has evolved and is leading the way in music. I mean, before we proceed any further, I guess it might be in your best interest to get that preparation H ready, because this is some stuff that might make some of you butthurt. Another thing that hasn't gone away is hate from non-K-pop fans. Basically, you're made fun of for liking K-pop. It's just a thing. It's probably less so now than it was back then for me, but, you know. So some things have improved, but it still exists. And yes, this genre may be more mainstream now, but people still make fun of you for it. Not everyone's gonna like it, just not everyone's gonna like country or hip-hop music. It's just something we'll have to accept. It's really not our fault that they are jealous and have no taste. Now, just let them live in their grayscale lives without color and fabulous choreography and carry on without trying to seek validation from them, okay? And instead, let's just focus on the more important things, which is basically trying to seek the child support payments that our precious idols owe us. Owe us, damn it! Child support alimony, I have not gotten it from one hoe. You owe me, you batch! You and your sexy seed that you planted in me from your music videos! How dare you! The next point I want to talk about is the streaming charts and trends do not reflect the country's true tastes. When it comes to fans rallying together to make sure their faves top the charts and achieve an all-kill, as well as dominating the top 10 with the album's latest tracks, they can skew the idea of what outsiders will see as the most popular music in the country. YouTube measures trends on a global scale, but there's a difference between a big fandom and a big hit. And there was no pun intended with that one. Moving on. Especially when it comes to the domestic Korean music. If you were to ask locals if they've heard of the songs listed here, for example, chances are they're not going to know many. It's just not as popular as many fans believe. And with all of that, let's talk about fans over-obsessing about charting, sales, and awards. While it's a constant source of fan wars and making sure their bias is at top, this fan culture aspect has always been a source of obsession in K-pop for many years now, and it's only gotten worse. Oh my god. Fans will buy multiple copies of an album to boost sales, and they'll even point to a song charting at number 1 in a tiny country as proof of a band's superiority over a top 10 song by another group in a much larger market. Getting clicks in YouTube has gotten so bad that fans are click-rigging the view lists for their group's videos, just so they can claim that their bias's video is popular. Let's admit it, 50,000 fans clicking a video multiple times and creating multiple YouTube accounts to drive up the click rate isn't the same as 1 million people clicking once. Nor should it be, okay? I bitched about this before, but, you know, it bears repeating for this particular video topic, okay? Hey y'all, hope you're enjoying the video so far. Please don't forget to do me the favor of hitting that like button for me and subscribe for more creative K-pop content. I really do appreciate your support and thank you. And next one, toxic fans. I said this before in my unpopular K-pop opinions video and I'll say it again. There's no such thing as the best fandom on any level. Every fandom has its toxic, crazy, and delusional fans. All fandoms, new and old, have their fair share of toxic behavior and have a superiority complex. So off-putting, really. The sad part is it's so hard to shut down those people, even from within. Cue Britney Spears. Building on the toxic fans, I have another one, which is entitlement to control a group, invasiveness, and sasaengs. None of those have gone away. These are those who feel they have the right to control a music group or even be invasive in all aspects of their lives. It was a thing back then and still is now. Oh Lord. And it's probably even worse now, arguably, because of social media and more access to the internet now. Sasaengs have always been a problem and have expanded globally, depending on how you look at it. I don't know why we tolerate it as a global music culture. This shit needs to stop. You gotta get your vaccine on that one too. Next one up are the beauty standards, dieting, and visuals. Beauty standards in Korea and K-pop have always been very strict and superficial in Korea and Asia as a whole. While the international fan base has broadened its definition of beauty, they've yet to embrace the adage that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. K-pop is all in when it comes to visual perfection. Glowing, dewy complexions and wave-like bodies in men as well as women are still the ideal, and it's common to Photoshop publicity photos to achieve this. As for dieting, fans watch and admire their biases achieving amazing results with sometimes questionable methods. The praise these idols receive then trickles down the impressionable fan base with unfortunate consequences, such as eating disorders, which I would go as far to say that body dysmorphia is pretty prevalent there. From the teasers to the music videos, the comments about idols' looks and visuals tends to be the most discussed topic aspect within K-pop, more so than the music or talent, sadly. I find that very annoying. I never liked the idea that a member's role is the visual. And I've always been very vocal about that on this channel. Next point I want to make is that dating is still an issue. This has always been a problem. Granted, there's definitely more acceptance in this arena, but when it comes to dating, some fans still can't accept the fact that their bias will not end up with them. And if they can't have them or were not fully loyal to the group and fans and instead chose love, then you might expect a petition to get them kicked out of the group. It's been a decade and I still see this happening. Just do yourself a favor and go to Pornhub and get over it, okay? Moving on, let's talk about Fanwars. Does anyone actually think Fanwars are something new? Oh my god, no. This seems obvious to me, but warring fan bases have been around since fan bases began. Obviously, it's not exclusive to K-pop or even music. In most areas, it's a friendly competition, but K-pop fandoms seem to have always been out to get each other and come out on top. I think they've created a profession out of toxic disagreement for its own sake, if you ask me. It doesn't really help anyone, and least of all, the artists who simply want to get their music out there and maybe bring joy to people's lives. And now I want you to stay in your room and think about what you're doing and stifling someone else's creative freedom and success. Does that make you sleep better at night, sweetheart? Don't be a bitch. Well, friends, that's it for today. I had a lot more to discuss, but I decided to save them for a possible future video on this topic down the road if you all like this topic. Thank you all so much for watching and for your support of me over the years. I really appreciate it. Please don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons for me. Check out many more of my videos while you're here, and I'll see you next time.